Hello, my name is Matt Goodfellow. I'm a poet. This is my brand new book. It's called Bright Bursts of Colour. It's published by Bloomsbury and illustrated by Alexei Bitskov. I'm going to read you a range of different poems from the book. There's funny poems, there's sad poems, there's thoughtful poems, there's all sorts of different kinds of poems. The first one I'm going to read you, I think it's a funny poem. My wife doesn't think it's very funny. See what you think. It's called A Special Badger. I'm a special kind of badger in a special badger den, writing special badger poems with a special badger pen, learning special badger lessons in a special badger school, earning special badger kudos from a special badger cool, wearing special badger badges saying badgers are the best, passing special badger interviews and special badger tests, drinking special badger coffee from a special badger mug, but my special badger problem, I am actually a slug. Now my wife doesn't think that's funny at all. I think it's quite funny. I'm going to read you a very, very, very sad love poem now, which is called I Fell in Love with a Crumpet. Okay, you can see some of the illustrations by Alexei in there. You ready? I fell in love with a crumpet. Its crispy cratered skin called to me one morning and sucked my poor heart in. I carried it around with me, safe inside my pocket, until I'd finished fashioning a crumpet carrying locket, which hung around my slender neck just like a buttered moon. A medal won by sweet new love, yet tragedy came soon. I thought we'd stay together until we both were old, but hadn't factored in a crumpet's tendency to mould. The stench became unbearable. A green and gassy glow told me it was time I had to let my true love go. I buried it in dappled shade beneath a willow tree and wondered how I might survive this life of only me. But have no fear, I'm not the sort to end up sad and bitter, and 6 days later hit it off with a gorgeous wholemeal pitta. Right, a couple of silly ones. I'm going to read a completely different kind of poem now. This is a poem called Better at Yours. We can't go to my house, Dad's still in bed. Black eyes and beer cans pound in his head. I swear if you'd saw him, you'd think he was dead. I like it better at yours. Another time maybe, the place is a mess. Mum's at my auntie's dealing with stress. We need peace and quiet to revise for this test. I like it better at yours. I like how it smells and the biscuits you've got. There's bread in the cupboards and tea in the pot. Carpets are clean and the radiator's hot. I like it better at yours. Okay, so the book's called Bright Bursts of Colour. I used to be a teacher, and one of the things that interested me was you'd get these children that would come into your class and they'd only be with you for a short period of time, and then they'd disappear to a different school somewhere else around the country. And it always interested me watching these kids and wondering where they'd get to. So the title of the book is in this poem, see if you can spot it. Bright Bursts of Colour. This is called Liam. Last year, this lad joined our class. He'd been to loads of different schools up and down the country, following where his dad's work was. He said he liked it moving around, that it kept things alive and interesting. One time at break, he told me he was different, that his thoughts were bright bursts of colour, greens and reds, blues and golds all moving together. Said they were so bright they sometimes hurt his eyes. He's gone now, of course, was only here a month or so. But every now and then, I picture him standing at the edge of some playground, and I wonder if he's nervous, if he ever feels afraid that staying in a place too long might make the colours fade. Okay, we're going to finish now with, again, a completely different kind of poem. This is a poem called The Not a Poem Poem. I am not a poem. No, I'm not like that at all. I am not a poem, unconventional and small. I am not a poem, let's be absolutely clear. I am not a poem, there is not a poem here. Right guys, look after each other, stay safe in these strange times. Read, read, read. I'm Matt Goodfellow. I've been reading you some poems from my new book, Bright Bursts of Colour, published by Bloomsbury, illustrated by Alexei Bitskov.